everybody, welcome to our Saturday night show. It's a special Halloween edition. Yes, I know it's November the 1st, but nobody can make it, last night. Well, they said they couldn't make it, but then they did a 2-hour Halloween stream. So, I'm not bitter. Anyway, kidding. Just kidding. Not really. But anyway. So tonight I actually have a nice little co-host that has actually showed up. I think Abby is having some medical problems this time of year, and so he's going to be hit or miss. And Wookie is currently being doing whatever his wife tells him to do, wherever he's at. Not really entirely sure. I think it's in Yuma somewhere, but anyway, I do have this guy.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hello, everybody. Hello, Bunny. Thank you for having us.
Hey. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, remember last week when I was saying, well, why don't we do it on Halloween night? And then I was getting this pushback. Oh, well,
That's right, yeah.
Nobody, I can't make it on Halloween night, blah, blah, blah. And then how many were on the Halloween?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Last night.
I would know nothing about that at all.
You don't know nothing about that, really? Well, so we can't do the stream on Halloween night, but oh by golly, we can do this stream on Halloween anyway. All right, it is what it is.
I'm doing both.
No, oh really? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So
I was on last night. Well, this morning, and now it's.
See, if Crow can do it, and he's in Scotland,
and it was 4 in the morning.
Ass crack of the night. Yeah, I'm sure their excuse is. I mean, here you are. It's the ass crack of the night, and then you're still here. There you go. But anyway,
still alive, still at it.
Well, I mean,
still wearing my costume from yesterday.
Yeah. No, there you go. So am I. Believe it or not. Yeah,
it's taken 40-something years to get this right, so I'm not taking it off.
See, I'm dressed as a college graduate.
No, I'm just dressed as myself, Scary enough.
Well, there you go. Scottish incel. I'm sure that's a costume that's going to be pretty hot next year, right? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
It maybe depends on the weather. I don't know.
There you go. Well, we did kind of touch on this particular subject a couple weeks back when we did Ed and Lorraine Warren, but Amityville was only one of their investigations, and they kind of came in on the tail end of it and kind of stole some glory, as it were. But why not? That seemed to be something that they did quite frequently. Whether you want to, yeah. Anyway, well, I think we came to the conclusion that that they started out as something legitimate, and but then when money got involved and they started having to publish books and
right,
and develop a reputation, but pre-internet, that they kind of became a little bit, shall we say, performative.
Yes.
But the thing about it is when they talked about Amityville, and you watch all the videotapes of them talking about Amityville, there was something about Amityville that genuinely disturbed them. As a matter of fact, Ed said to the day he died that Amityville was just evil. Whatever was involved here was just pure evil, and so I don't see a lot of people except for the guy that I've clipped tonight, Lore Lodge. A lot of people just like to do synopsis of what they said, what was said happened, and not many people do follow-ups. Not many people kind of investigate. If you're not subscribed to the Lore Lodge, do so. That guy, that kid.
I watched the 2 videos earlier. So
yeah, he's the one that I took clips from when we covered Killdozer.
Oh yeah, Killdozer. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So if you want I mean, we're kind of like a synopsis show here. We kind of like do kind of a neat show where we like watch the evidence and then make a conclusion by the end of it. But if you want like a deep dive, somebody that does his research, actually calls people, follows up, does actual. The Lore Lodge is the best out there.
Right. Yeah.
No, he's to that kind of video that Fat Electrician is to history videos.
Yeah, I mean,
so
we probably would just scratch the surface with all that stuff, I would say. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got day jobs. This is something
that's also true. Yeah. Well, I don't. I just sit in my arse. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I have a day job. All right. I'll just say I have a day job. You know.
Yes.
You play video.
One of my jobs actually did involve me sitting on my arse. Funnily enough. But
okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I got you. But anyway, but this particular one, I kind of expect maybe the views will be down because Amityville is so overexposed. But I really think that there's some meat on that bone, and so I decided tonight for our Halloween special that we're gonna talk about Amityville, because out of all the hauntings that I've come across, Amityville is the one that I think has the most legitimacy to me. Mainly because
what other big names are there when it comes to hauntings? Not really many. I don't think.
No, not really. I guess the Waverly Sanitarium one is it's considered pretty big. But I'm
not familiar with that one. Everybody knows Amityville, though. Everybody knows Amityville.
Right, there you go.
Amityville, there you go. Everyone knows that. Yeah.
Well, you're white male, and you know, not going to speculate about straight, but you know, that's nobody's business. But anyway, so we're both evil anyway, just for being white male, born with the pale complexion. And,
yes, definitely.
You know, with genitalia, definitely evil. We're just evil by default. But anyway, it is what it is. But with Amityville, there's some like
what are you gonna do?
There you go. Right. Well, let me give this is a little short summary video, and I hate this video because this woman can't pronounce Butch.
Oh.
And she also can't pronounce DeFeo. But
okay.
I mean, I don't know how you get through life not knowing how to pronounce Butch. I'm not entirely sure, but evidently she did. But anyway, as much as it drives me crazy, it's a pretty quick synopsis of Amityville. So let me play that right quick. Here you go.
On number 9, we have the Amityville haunting. Now, this is probably the most controversial paranormal case of all time. On November 13th of 1974, Robert Butch Defoe took the lives of his parents and his 2 brothers and 2 sisters. The house was then put up for sale, and the Lutz family moved in. And apparently, the demon that got Butch to do the horrific deeds started to attack their family as well. The doors would open and close by themselves, green slime would ooze from their walls, and one time a demonic face with red glowing eyes was seen looking into their house. So on and so on. You've probably heard of this house. The Warrens went to investigate and confirmed that the house was haunted. Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen this viral photo of what appears to be a ghost boy peering out of the corner. Well, here's what the Warrens had to say about this photo.
It's in the upstairs bedrooms. Just to the left there, you see what looks like a small boy's face looking out with bioluminescent eyes. This was the room of one of the young boys who was murdered there.
Isn't that
Now,
eerie?
a lot of people would say, well, is that the spirit of the young boy? No, it is not the spirit of the young boy, but it is a diabolical spirit.
That photo had always given me the creeps, and I didn't know it was an evil spirit. I thought it was like an innocent ghost boy.
You think that is an evil spirit, Ed?
Positively. Everything about this house was evil.
Again, this case is controversial because a lot of people think that the family just made up the haunting to get rich, and the Warrens went along with it. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Butch. She pronounced it Butch.
My name is Hubert. I'm Hubert. My name is Hubert. I'm the cuddly ghost boy.
Well, the thing about it is,
it's just so funny.
I know. But the thing that draws me to Amityville is I guess you call it like discernment of spirits, but this is something that I've proven over and over again that when something's off or somebody is off or some situation is off, maybe it's because of the tragedies of my childhood, but I'll sense it, and most of the time, most of the time I'm pretty dead on. And when I look at that picture, it's off. It is very much off. Okay. So
Pretty
I
much,
mean
yeah.
that's. Well, I mean, I don't think it's faked. I just don't. Plus, that's an infrared camera that they were using, and whatever the thing is has eye shine.
Yeah.
And that's the only way you get that is eye shine, which is a animal thing. It's not a human thing. It's an animal thing.
Okay.
So whatever it is. Yeah. So I mean, we'll talk more about that picture later. But so what is absolutely 100% confirmed about Amityville is that before the events that became the Amityville Horror, which is the Lutz family, about 13 months earlier, a young man took a rifle and systematically murdered his entire family.
Oh yeah.
Five members of his family. Shot one, went to the next room, shot those, and then shot his parents.
Yeah.
And so, but there are anomalies where that's concerned. Is that
Quite a few.
If somebody fires a gun in my house, and this is a pretty large rifle. If somebody fires a gun in your house, you're not going to remain asleep. No. And I mean, so there should have been like bodies found in like hallways. Should have been bodies found in like closets. When there's been mass shootings inside of in houses, there's usually somebody that tried to, hide under a bed or something and got shot. Anyway.
Oh, you would think so. Yeah, you would think so. I don't even think the neighbors didn't even hear any gunshots from what I recall from the videos too.
No,
yeah. And they did not. It's not a suppressed weapon either. It's not a suppressed weapon.
I think it was like a 308. So this is
was it a lever?
It wasn't a
lever
22.
Action? I think a lever action.
Lever action rifle. Yeah. And so I mean, this is not like a 22. I mean, just poof. No. This was significant size rifle. You should have heard.
Well, you're going to hear it. If it goes off.
But anyway, but yeah, let me let Laura Lodge talk you through it. He does it better than I do. Here we go.
There's a place on Ocean Avenue where the spirits like to mess with you. I'm Aiden Madison. Welcome back to the Lore Lodge. In 1965, Ronald DeFeo Sr. and his family, his wife and their 5 kids, moved into a nice 3-story Dutch colonial at 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, New York. It's on Long Island, and it's in Suffolk County. Now, Ronald was the sales manager at Briganti Carl car dealership, where he made a very good living, apparently, because this 6-bedroom house was attainable for a sales manager at a car dealership. Now, why am I surprised by that? Well, when I was growing up, my dad was a sales manager at a car dealership and did not, I mean, he made fine money, but he did not make that kind of money. Like, that's nice house. So, you know, a little, I mean, it's got a boat slip, it's on a river, like, it's just down the street from the marina. This is a home. For the next 9 years, Ronald's family would get along just fine in their home and in their lives. They were living in a gorgeous home, in a gorgeous place, and they seemed to love it. The family had friends, the kids were doing well in school, and Ronald DeFeo Jr., who was at this time 23, had begun working under his father at the dealership. Now, he did struggle with some heroin and LSD problems and also antisocial personality disorder, but it was the 70s, everyone did that. And as far as anyone could tell of the DeFeo family, they were a good family. They were staunch Catholics. They had a statue of the Virgin Mary in their front yard. There were angels. There was Joseph holding the baby Jesus. Like, these were, you know, bada bing, bada boom Italians. And I can say that because my last name is Piombino. Now, of course, beneath all of this lay a dark secret. The DeFeos were connected to the Genovese crime family. You see, the Brigantis were pretty high up. They were basically, you know, the lowest ranking officers in the family, so to speak. Now, if you were wondering how they owned this home, that's why. But everything would change for the DeFeo family when on November 13th, Ronald DeFeo Jr. walked into Henry's bar at 180 Merrick Road, about half a mile down the street from his home, and proclaimed to everyone there that his parents had been killed. Several friends followed him back to the house where they discovered that, in fact, his family had been killed, and one Joe Yeswit immediately called Suffolk County Police, who showed up and began the investigation, but really didn't know where it was going at first. In the initial stages, they wondered, was this a robbery gone wrong? Was this a case of domestic violence? But the crime scene very quickly showed that this was something far more sinister than really either of those things. You see, both parents and 4 of the 5 children, Ronald not included, of course, had been shot face down in their beds. Now, the parents had each been shot twice, and the 4 other children had each been shot once. The mother had been shot twice while she was alive, it appears, and the younger daughter also appears to have been alive when she was killed. So, this was a systematic killing. All 6 murders had been committed with the same .35 caliber Marlin lever-action rifle, which was missing from the scene of the crime. Ronald was questioned by police, and his initial belief was that this was a mob hit, that a rival crime family had decided to try and kill his family as vengeance for some slight. But the alleged hitman actually turned out to be out of state and had a rock-solid alibi, at which point Ronald just broke down and confessed to the murders. He claimed that once he started the killings, he simply couldn't stop himself, and then gave a very detailed account of what happened, where he stashed his clothes, where he stashed the rifle, and the various cartridges. Now, despite this pretty black and white confession, DeFeo's lawyer had some tricks up his sleeve. William Weber, attorney at law, decided to mount an insanity defense, and while his side's psychiatrist actually backed him up, the psychiatrist for the prosecution pointed out that while DeFeo was under the influence commonly of heroin and LSD, LSD of course has a rather permanent effect on your brain and prolonged use can drive you to madness, and he also had antisocial personality disorder, despite all of this, he was aware of his actions. This was not something that happened during a fit of psychosis. He deliberately went in and killed his family. And his reasoning didn't totally stack up either. You see, while the Warrens would successfully drive people to use an insanity defense based on demonic possession in the 80s, didn't quite fly yet in the 70s. And DeFeo's insistence that he heard voices in his head telling him he had to kill his family or they were going to kill him just didn't hold up. He could not adequately convince the jury, and they sentenced him to 6 consecutive sentences of 25 to life. Theoretically, he could get out of prison, if he had lived, around 21, 24. Unfortunately for Ronald, but fortunately for the rest of us, he died in prison in March of 2021 of undisclosed causes.
Yeah. Let me point this out. Who did he resemble? Who was a mass killer in like the 70s that he resembled? That was also dosed with LSD.
I forget. What's his
Charles Manson.
Manson, yeah. Was
He
Manson not
looks-
also Manson not also MK Ultra?
He was MK Ultra, yeah. But there's something about dosing somebody with LSD that gives them a capacity for evil.
Right.
That I mean, you saw what happened to the Manson family. You know, he dosed all his followers with LSD, and what do? They killed for him. You know,
What's that? It's is that not the hallucinogenic properties that's in LSD, isn't it?
yeah. Well, it's not only you're not only
Yeah.
go on trips, but some demonologists believe that while you're on that trip, something else can come into you.
See.
Your spirit like leaves when you go on these trips, your spirit leaves and leaves you wide open for something else to come
Right.
in. And
Right. Okay.
so it's a little metaphysical, but that's been speculated because there's so much evil that has been done by people who have taken trips on LSD. And they all say the same thing, that something else was like driving the car.
Well, I've been drunk. I've been drunk a few times, quite a few times in my time, and I could count the amount of times on my probably a hand that I've been smoking weed. That's it. You
Right.
know, we haven't tried anything else, and I don't intend to. So, yeah.
Well,
I have no
I mean,
idea. I have no idea the effects
Yeah.
of harder drugs and other chemicals and whatnot on the brain and oneself.
Right.
So, thank goodness.
Well, see, I didn't
Thank goodness.
know. I didn't know about the mob connection with the DeFeo family.
No,
but
neither did I.
but
Yeah,
that-
I mean that's the thing I was thinking as well. It's just like mob pit, try to punt it off as a mob pit. It's just like the mob.
Yeah.
The mob doesn't typically go after family, so
yeah.
they'll kill you, they'll shoot you, but they won't go after your family. So not at that time anyway.
Well, exactly. But there is something that has always bugged me. Okay, is that they tested the DeFeo family for drugs because
Right.
the fact they stayed in their beds while they were being massacred.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And
Didn't vote them up.
yeah, and they're all laying face down when they were massacred.
Right.
That's just weird.
Well, if you were looking at somebody that was going to premeditate something like that, he might want to dope them up, turn them the other way around so he doesn't have to look at their faces.
Well, that's the thing. They came back clean.
Oh.
None of them were drugged. Okay. So you had a guy with a 35 caliber lever action Marlin rifle that just took the rifle and murdered his family. And if you look at the picture of the family, those kids were just sweet and beautiful little kids. And so, so this guy gets into lysergic acid, and says that something entered into him and started driving. And so he just picks up a rifle at 3:15 in the morning. Remember that. And just starts massacring everybody, and they just lay there and let it happen. And by the way,
I can get on board with the LSD and the kind of like demonic influences and all that, but what gets me is the non-drugged face down people.
Yeah. And the fact, the neighbors didn't hear it.
And that, yeah.
And this is, if you look at every picture of the Amityville house, there are neighbors within earshot. I mean, they're not partial land. These lands are just a few acres, right?
Yeah.
And you can hear a gunshot. When I was living in the trailer, if anybody was hunting in the woods from miles away, I could hear a gunshot.
Yeah.
And so, in a 35 caliber rifle, especially a lever action one, and a Marlin, is not a quiet rifle. Okay, if it was like a 22, then maybe I could understand the volume, the sound didn't carry that far, because 22s are relatively quiet. That's why hitters call them the hitter special. You know.
Okay.
You put a sound suppressor on a 22. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it depends on the space and the air and whatnot. I guess the way the sound carries, I suppose. But yeah.
Well, I think it was sound carries. Right, sound carries better in cold air, and this took place, and I think it might have been summer, so there might be something to that. But either way, so that's something that happened in the house. Okay, that's confirmed. This happened in that house. So this is not speculation. This is not like, maybe somebody committed suicide like 2 or 3 generations back. You know, maybe. They
weren't drugged. They weren't drugged. What was poison? Any poison?
Well, the tox screen would have turned that up too. Because once you do a tox screen, you take the blood, you put it in the whatever that thing is that separates the constituent elements, and then you run it through different tests for different you separate it out, and then you run it for different elements that kind of like phosphorus or whatever. They would have tested for poisons the same time as they tested for drugs. The tox screens came back.
They would have done the whole thing, They would have done the whole thing if they'd smothered them in their sleep or something, then turned them around. They would have done that,
Yeah.
Whether it would have been death by the gunshot or asphyxiation or whatnot.
Well, I mean, if there was like carbon monoxide poisoning, which is probably what I'm suffering from.
I was thinking,
but anyway,
that did enter my mind as well. The whole carbon monoxide thing, but they would be pink, wouldn't they? They usually go pink.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, it just then why wasn't Ronald DeFeo affected if there was carbon monoxide?
Well, they went pink in CSI.
It just doesn't make any sense.
They went pink in CSI. So I assume it's true. I don't know, but
right. Well, what we do know is that if people want to like commune with spirits, what is like the default way of doing that? All these cults and all these religions around the world.
Sacrifice. It always comes back to sacrifice, doesn't it?
It always comes back, especially.
I was going to say the drugs
child
are
sacrifice,
often involved.
Yeah.
Drugs are often involved. Yeah.
So they'll get themselves like hyped up and on drugs and whatever, medieval meth or whatever, and then they'll murder a bunch of
medieval
people. Medieval meth or whatever. But then they'll murder the crap out of people, and that's supposed to please the spirits or pull them in, right? And so allegedly. Anyway, but we do. This just feels ritualistic to me. It feels like a ritual.
It might have been, yeah.
I mean, when you look at what when Ted Bundy hit that house, the fraternity house or whatever, with the ladies, whatever that's called, sorority. When Ted hit the sorority house,
Yeah.
And he went from room to room to room and murdered people. He did it like very similar ways, and so that felt like ritualistic too. But we got a comment from
stop eating and
somebody.
get on here. That's all you do, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Hey there, guys. Just
No
got
dinner
home.
for
and
you, my
fixing
boy.
dinner.
Get on here.
Well, you might as well eat on stream. You always do anyway. For God's sake. Anyway.
Put the fork down. No.
Okay. Whatever you said. Anyway. Mr. I can't be there on Halloween night, but I'm going to stream for 2 hours. But anyway.
Yeah. I get the
not
feeling
bitter.
Not
bitter.
You're not going to let that go, are you?
No, I am not. I am not going to let it go. Anyway. But okay. We would just be kind of like a one-off story. It'd probably be something like, oh man, I can't believe that guy killed his family.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But then about 13 months later, a new family moves in. And let me play that.
But the real story here, the Amityville horror that we all know and love, the 1979 movie and then the mid-2000s movie and the other 5 movies that were based off of it, all came about because of the family of George Lutz, who moved into the house December 18th, 1975. Now, the house had been unoccupied for about 13 months at that point, which is ominous to say the least. And George was a newlywed. He had just married his wife, Kathy. They had 3 children from Kathy's previous marriage, who George had actually legally adopted and had their names changed to match his own. George was a land surveyor and didn't really seem to be all that interested in writing books or movies or anything like that. So it would make sense that, he would be a reliable source. He didn't appear on the outside to be someone who would be super concerned with the occult. Of course, that was not the case. George maintained an air of rationalism throughout everything, and his decisions seemed to be rooted more in his Catholic faith, although he was formerly a Methodist, than any sort of interest in fame, wealth, or the occult. He knew what had happened in the house, and knew that getting it for $80,000, the equivalent of $440,000 today, was a steal for the property. It should have gone for much closer to $1 million modern-day dollars. But since Suffolk County's worst murder in history had been committed in the house just a year prior, he decided to have a priest come and bless it. And this is where the spooks begin. But it's also where the controversy begins, because while the priest, referred to in the books and movies as Father Mancuso, apparently went in and blessed the house and had this whole set of experiences, the priest who allegedly was the one referenced by the Lutz family, Father Pecoraro, claims he was never in the home. But then in an interview, a man claiming to be Father Pecoraro, but appearing in silhouette to hide his identity that he had just disclosed, claimed that he did in fact go to the house and asserted that yes, he did feel cold spots in the sewing room, and yes, some disembodied force slapped him in the face and told him to get out. Though at the same time, he disagreed with certain aspects of the story. In the movie and the books, the priest is swarmed by flies, but this alleged Father Pecoraro was not keen on that description. He says that while there were flies in the house, he himself was not swarmed by them. It gets a little bit more complicated, though, because in a Newsday article, which of course doesn't show Pecoraro, but it does quote him, he says that he never actually went to the house, and he'd only ever interacted with the Lutz family over the phone. In any case, if a priest did come and bless the house, it didn't really do much, because for the next 28 days that the Lutzes actually lived in the home, they were plagued by all sorts of paranormal activity. They reported telephone static that would come on the line anytime they tried to communicate with the police or with the clergy. Green ooze also would seep from the walls, swarms of flies would appear, they'd hear stamping noises upstairs, and allegedly, there were some incidents of levitation. This eventually escalated to the point that on January 14th, 1976, the Lutzes just up and ran out of the house, left all of their belongings behind, and refused at any point to go back in.
So that's the other date. That's another data point. So we have the DeFeo data point in that this did happen. This guy did murder his family, his whole entire family. He did say that he was hearing voices and that, and we do know that he took LSD and some other substances. And what he did seemed very oddly ritualistic and like he was following orders or something. And then the next data point, the Lutz shows up about 13 months later and wondering, why is this house at this incredible price? This thing is massive. It's beautiful. Why the heck? You know, I mean, this was not like a minor property. This was 3-story building, 6 bedroom. You know, it had some very specific architectural you know, things about it, like the keyhole windows that everybody points to. But it also had a boathouse on it. And so this was not a minor property, and he got it for $80,000 back in the 70s. Right. And so then it's kind of vague. The Lutzes really haven't talked about whether or not they knew ahead of time about this, but the movie and the book both say that, they're like, this incredible house, you know, for our family. And, you know, they kind of jumped on it. And then after it was over with, somebody's like, do you know what happened in this house? You know, and bear in mind, this is pre-internet age. And so if you weren't, you know, if you didn't see it in the papers or magazines, then you could have missed the fact that, you know, this was a murder house. So it's entirely possible they moved in. Yeah, well, I mean, 3. I mean, it's like me given this house, just handed me the keys to this house, and as beautiful and massive as this house is, you know, just here, this is where you're staying now, you know, and so.
By the way,
well, I mean. If somebody told me, it's like, oh, do you know people got murdered in this house? You know, then I'd be like, yeah, but it's a beautiful house, and just,
this place is cursed. It's cursed.
Yeah, right. And you know, and I've kind of like been, you know, middle of the night when I hear stuff, and I'm kind of like, is that the house settling? You know, well, whatever. But it is what it is. But the thing about it is, though, is what the second data point is. They went from this $80,000 mortgage, which was way over what they wanted to buy. That their budget was like $35,000 or $45,000 or something like that, and they went twice that to get this house. And so, obviously, you put that much investment in a house and you sign a note and a mortgage, you know, nothing's going to move you from that spot. It's this primo property. You got it for dirt cheap, but it's still way over what you anticipated ever paying. And then you abandon it after 28 days? Just leave your stuff and take off in the middle of the freaking night? Okay, that's the other data point. Okay,
I hate to say it. 28 days later.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, maybe that's where he got that specific number from. I don't know, but I just know that's a definitive
28 days later,
data point.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, they left in the middle of the night. They just with the clothes on their back, and they never darkened the door of this house again.
No.
Nobody from the family.
That normally.
Yeah. No. Okay, that's not normal behavior. Okay.
No. Hey, Willie, come on, let's just fuck off.
Yeah, let's leave an $80,000 mortgage that we can barely afford, and decide to get another house while we're still paying that mortgage.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Let's just make that decision. And oh, by the way, they were so over that place, they never went and got their stuff. They just auctioned it off.
Yeah.
They never
right.
went back for stuff. They just auctioned it the hell off. Okay.
What does that tell you?
Something happened. Okay. You don't make a move like that for just like publicity purposes. And this was not people that were pursuing publicity before. They weren't the Warrens. Okay. No. And so that's another data point that's indisputable. Okay. First data point, DeFeos murdered, down, by the sun. And he shot everybody. Nobody heard the shots. Nobody ran from the shots in the house. They all just took it and died in their sleep, face down. And 13 months later, family moves in. 28 days after that, they flee in the middle of the freaking night, leaving all the stuff. And they're so terrified to go back to the place, they just auction the shit off. That's indisputable. That's fact. You can cut through the speculation. Those are two data points that are absolute fact. Okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just wondering, any particular, what about a paralyzing agent? Any kind of paralyzing agent?
Like curare or something like that?
I don't know. I just thought of that just now.
Like a snake venom?
Maybe, but that would come up in a talk screen, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would come up in a talk screen. I think it would.
I just thought of some sort of paralyzing thing.
Well, I mean, if he gassed everybody, stayed out of the house until the gas took hold, and then posed them and then shot them or something like that. But that's all.
It wouldn't be. Again, they wouldn't.
But this isn't a mastermind.
No.
Well, Ronald DeFeo Jr. wasn't a mastermind. He was a pothead, or he was on heroin and LSD, and he. Mm-hmm. But then he like just ritualistically murdered his entire family.
I find it very unlikely that they would have been willing participants.
Doesn't seem likely. Hey, hey, big brother, I'm just going to lay here. Why don't you shoot me in the back of the head, please?
That would be some serious cultish behavior, but that doesn't seem to go.
No, not for a good Italian Catholic family. I mean,
no.
We're not talking like fringe hippie, Heaven's Gate people that are just going to eat the applesauce and go lay down, or People's Temple. We're talking about just talking about a mob-connected Catholic family. Okay,
doesn't track, not at all.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Okay, so this is in the aftermath. Two very familiar figures show up.
Okay.
So the investigation begins. You'll recognize these two. Here we go.
And at this point, our beloved Warren family gets involved. Now, Ed and Lorraine Warren put together a team of reporters, cameramen, and parapsychologists. Now, you look at the term parapsychologist, and you might say, that sounds scientific. It's not. Parapsychology is a field of pseudoscience that studies the interactions between human beings and the psychic world. Now, there is some, and I must stress, it's a small amount of evidence that parapsychology might be based in something. Both the United States and the Soviet Union did study things like remote viewing throughout the 60s and 70s to see if they could perhaps gain an edge on one another. But as far as we know, as far as has been declassified, there was never any success. While in the house, parapsychologists did report that they had encountered dark forces and energy. Ed Warren claimed that he was pushed to the ground and held there by some sort of unseen force. Lorraine was plagued with visions of the actual family laying in their beds dead, and she also claims that she felt though she was pushed. And the one solid concrete piece of evidence from all of this comes from a camera that was set up upstairs facing 2 of the bedrooms. In the picture, which is to my right, you will see a head and white glowing eyes which appear to be peeking out of one of the bedrooms. It was claimed that this photo was taken during the night that they were all there actually doing their investigation. It was an infrared camera set up to automatically take pictures if it detected movement. They went through several reels of film, according to the Warrens family website, but only captured this one really solid image. And there has been controversy about the picture. Some people claim that it's doctored, though, as far as anybody knows, it is the original image. Others claim that one of the people in the house at the time was actually the person caught on camera, and then people who believe the Warrens claim that it was the ghost of the youngest boy, John. In any case, the house went on to sell to another family, and the Warrens left as if nothing happens. It remains up on their website that this entire thing was in fact paranormal, but there's not really a ton of evidence for it. And I have a lot of questions about the story that is told, as did many people at the time. For example, William Weber, DeFeo's defense attorney, and someone who actually knew the Lutz family, claimed that one night over a bottle of wine, or several bottles of wine, he and the Lutzes concocted the entire story so that they could sell a book. But the Lutzes deny that this ever happened, and it later came out that during the time period when he claimed this, he was actually actively engaged in a lawsuit against the Lutzes and may have simply been trying to discredit them. Eventually, the Lutzes would settle out of court. Furthermore, neighbors never really reported hearing or seeing anything. The DeFeos had never heard or seen anything, and the neighbors had apparently also just not noticed 8 gunshots going off in the middle of the night on November 13th, 1974. So how reliable are the neighbors? Probably not very. The Marlin rifle that he was using was not suppressed, and even if it had been, you can hear a suppressed rifle from a house away. So how reliable are the neighbors? Probably not very. But the Cromartie family, who purchased the houses from the Lutzes, also never really noticed anything. So, is the house haunted, or were the Lutzes haunted? It's also worth mentioning that the Cromartie family claimed that none of the damage to the locks or the windows or other physical signs that something had gone wrong in the house were actually there. All of the locks appeared to be original, the windows weren't broken, so some aspects of the story are just outright false.
Well,
okay.
There you go.
Go ahead. What do you think?
I'm just saying, there you go.
Yeah. Well, point. If there's nothing wrong with the house, then why did the Cromarties hold on to it? They sold it a couple years later.
Yeah.
It's changed hands, I think, around 8 times.
Something like that, yeah. 6 to 8 times, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're wanting to like unload a property that it's got serious issues with it, are you going to say, "Well, yes, we did see all this stuff. Why, yes, there was these issues."
No.
So just saying that, well, they didn't notice anything wrong with it is not compelling to me. Because they turned around and sold the house later. Okay. So anyway, and not like decades later, they sold it just a few years later.
Yeah.
And so this primo property, beautiful house and perfect area, driving distance, Long Island, driving distance to New York, and and they sold it just a couple years later. So.
Yeah.
And we didn't see anything wrong with the house. There's nothing wrong with the house. So buy it for this price that we're setting. Please.
It's not like you can
take it off our hands by all means.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you could punt it off as people buying a house and then doing things up around it and then selling it for more. I don't know.
No,
that doesn't seem to fly either.
Well, a point. That priest, he's changing story, in that he said later on, he's like, I never set foot in the house. I just called. But then he said one of the manifestations was every time they tried to talk to clergy, the phone had static.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
evidently they were trying to talk to someone and there's static in the phone. So if this guy never visited the house, but he said he called, then that doesn't make sense either. That doesn't hold water. Because his earlier story is, yes, I did visit the house. No, there were not, I was not swarmed by flies. But yes, something told me to get the hell out.
Well, I mean, he could have gone to the property and not gone in, couldn't he?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. Yeah, he could say, he stood at the door and he like leaned his head in and something said get out and he's like, okay.
Right, I'll believe it.
Right. Yes. So technically, that would have never been stepping foot in the house, and he could say that yes, something slapped my face and told me to get out.
Yeah.
So both of those things could be true. I never set foot in the house, or I just, but anyway, so once again, I don't find it compelling that nothing happened. Okay, now we have hindsight, and one of the most powerful things about the hindsight is the kids that grew up in the house.
Right.
And so, what do the kids say? Here we go.
But a wrench gets thrown into the skepticism with the Lutz children, who themselves are skeptics and have argued for years now that what happened in their home was grossly exaggerated by the person who wrote the book, as well as Hollywood. For example, Daniel Lutz claims that his stepfather, George, had always been obsessed with the occult. Daniel was 10 at the time, and probably would have been aware of an obsession with the paranormal. He would have been mature enough to recognize that that was actually something that was going on. And Daniel had other criticisms of his father. He claimed that George Lutz was inconsistent and obsessive and just kind of not a reliable source. But at the same time, he did corroborate some of the claims. For example, cold spots around the house. He said that, yeah, sometimes rooms would be unusually cold. As well, one incident that occurs in the story of the Amityville horror told in the books and the movie is that a window slammed on Daniel's hand, but miraculously it didn't break any fingers. At the same time, he does bear an injury from that window slamming on his hand, so clearly something did break. Then again, he was 10 years old, and the interview was conducted in 2012 for something that happened in 1975, so there is a possibility that his memory from the time period is a little bit fuzzy. Other accounts come from Chris Lutz, who was 7 at the time. Chris very explicitly says that he feels the events in the book were stretched to the point of fiction, but that wording is important because he doesn't claim they never happened, just that they were massively exaggerated. He seems to echo Daniel's sentiment that things did happen in the house, but just not to the extent that is told in the story. Furthermore, William Weber, the defense attorney for DeFeo, who ended up in a lawsuit with the Lutzes, kind of backs this up by saying that what they did was use real-life events and then exaggerate them heavily for the storyline. Also, Chris Lutz would corroborate the claims that there were flies, though the swarming effect was a little bit exaggerated. He did say there were an unusual number of flies in the house, like more than you would expect, but not to the extent that they were like physically covering anyone. And to throw even more confusion onto things, both George and Kathy Lutz passed a polygraph test in the 1970s. Now, polygraphs are really only about 60% effective, but, that's more effective than not. So, were they lying? Were they exaggerating? Were they telling the whole truth? Probably not the last one, but the middle one seems plausible. And it seems to be agreed upon by both of the Lutz boys that while events in the books and the film were exaggerated, these things like the stamping sounds, the cold spots, and the flies definitely did happen to them, or at least they remember them happening. Now the part you
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I did watch an interview. Go ahead.
It's not out of the. It's not irregular for fiction to take some liberties and make things a bit more interesting. So,
No.
what do they call it?
Mm-mm.
Creative liberties. So that
Yeah.
happens. That happens.
Well, it's like everybody loves the movie Rudy, right? You know, the Notre
I don't
Dame
think I've,
Mystique. You know,
I don't
he's
think
the
I've seen that.
underdog football player. He's undersized and he walks
Right.
on,
Yeah.
and they give him like a they gave him a uniform and let him like dress out for his last game as a senior, and they carry him off the field after he does a sack, and everybody says Rudy,
Right.
Rudy, Rudy. You know. Well, the truth about her is nobody liked him. He did walk on, and the only reason they dressed him was because all the walk-ons got to dress their senior year for the last
Right.
game, and he never recorded a sack, and he was not carried off the field, and
Right.
so
Well,
you know, and it's like remember the Titans. The real true story was.
I've
Is
seen that.
when they combined those schools, they combined the two best schools in the state and created a super team that nobody even came close to defeating.
Mhm.
And because they wanted the integration to, they wanted this great story for integration, so they created this
Right.
super team that nobody could even stand up against, that just wiped everybody's off the field all the way to the state title, and so. And oh, by the way, the coach was hated so much. The Herman, what's his name, was hated so much that he was fired like 2 years later.
Yeah.
And so, not exactly remember the Titans. Okay.
No.
So people take liberties. Okay, they take liberties.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. So I mean, but there is like a grain of truth that has to be kind of like,
Oh yeah.
gilded a little bit to sell books, basically.
Oh.
But I mean, they probably learned that trick from the Warrens, who sold a bunch of books, and later on, the families are kind of like.
Never know. You never know.
Well, it's like the Perron house, the Conjuring family. They say that they showed up one time, held a seance, got their butts kicked at the seance, made everything a lot worse, and ran out of the house and never came back and never checked up on us. But then you watch the Conjuring movie, and they fought the thing all the way to the end and saved the woman's life, right? And the truth is, the family had hell on. Well, the truth is, the family had hell on earth for 12 years, and eventually were able to get enough money to finally move out. But not exactly what the Warrens said it was, right?
No.
So they were, but what the data points we do know, okay? Let's stick to the data we do have. And the data we do have is, number one, Perron family, murder ritualistic style by, or the DeFeo family, murdered ritualistic style by the son, and shot face down, nobody ran, in the middle of the morning, 3:15, and nobody heard shots, okay? And then he said that the devil made him do it. Okay, and he was on LSD and heroin. Data points we know. Then the Lutz family moves in 13 months later. The father was indeed into the occult. I listened to an interview where it turns out that yes, he was into the occult, and his the family hated his guts. The stepkids hated his guts, and because he was kind of an authoritarian butthole. But the thing is that they had so much horrific things happen to them in house, and you could dispute what happened to him exactly. But what we do know is 28 days later, they left an $80,000 mortgage that they couldn't afford to start with, and left everything in the house, never went back, just auctioned off their stuff rather than go back. Mm-hmm. Those are facts. Okay. The Warrens come in, and one of their cameras takes a picture of a creepy kid sticking his head out of a door upstairs, which would have been the youngest son's, the DeFeo son's room. And it thing had eye shine. Okay. And if you look at the perspective, that would have been the size of a child, not an adult. And it was an infrared camera. This is the 70s. They didn't have AI. They didn't have ways of faking that.
No.
Okay. All right. So that's a data point we know. Okay. Later on, we have the data point that it was sold multiple times over the years. And as recently as 2 years ago, it was sold again. Okay. But
Right.
that's a story I'm going to run in a little bit. But those are data points we know. And the DeFeo boys say, yes, cold spots, yes, flies, yes, a lot of scary stuff happened. Yes, we left our stuff and took off, and we were happy to do so. So that's stuff we know. Okay?
Yeah. Has there been anything else recorded in that house by other occupants?
Okay. The grandson of Ed and Lorraine Warren did an interview.
All right.
And he talked about the Amityville. So let me play that.
Well, in 1952, they obviously founded NESPO, which is the New England Society for Psychic Research. And is, as I understand it, I think Tony Spira has still carried on with that.
Yes.
And what other, with the Amityville case, is there anything that a lot of people don't know about that case? It's because it's such a publicized case.
Yeah, honestly, that case, my grandparents called it the worst case they ever worked on.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to say that Amityville was a 10. This case had everything. It had the monstrosities of the night which roamed that house, which infested it, which caused a young man to murder his whole family.
I know that, people have said that it's not true and everything, but my grandparents swear it was as real as you could ever imagine. They were invited there by Channel 5 News out of New York City.
Yeah.
That's, they had no connection to the family. And they had to go to Kathy Lutz's mother's house to pick up the keys because the Lutzes wouldn't go anywhere near the house.
Yeah.
My grandparents had already been attacked the first night that they had been asked to go to the Amityville case, horribly attacked. And when they got into the place, there's a famous photo of a little boy. It looks like a little boy looking out of a bedroom doorway.
The ghost boy photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was taken by a news photographer, not by my grandparents. My grandparents had nothing to do with that.
I think that was taken by Gene Campbell, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sorry?
I think it was taken by a guy named Gene Campbell, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. That's news to me.
Okay.
I've been accused of being the boy in that photo, and I could promise you that I would have been 14 years old, and there was no way in hell I would have gone into that house.
Yeah. It's a beautiful house today. I mean, if you there are pictures online of what the house looks like, the interior and stuff. It's a pretty beautiful house. But given the history, notwithstanding the the haunting that took place, I mean, 6 people were killed in that house. So yeah, it's a bit of a give and take whether I'll stay in that house. I probably won't. But
well, another interviewer that I've talked to has followed up with the woman reporter that went with my grandparents on that case.
Yeah.
And she has been following all of the owners of the home. And if you've ever noticed, that house sells every few years. It doesn't stay in anyone's hands very long. And every single one of them has reported something happening. The last one that I was aware of, which was about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a husband and wife. They were in their mid-40s. He dropped dead of a heart attack, and she swears it was the house. And she sold the house as soon as she could.
There you go.
Yep. Well,
So
that's it.
yep. So this house where nothing's wrong, I have to disagree with Mr. Laurel Lodge because I didn't do the rest of the video because he gave his conclusions, and he say it's
Yeah.
impossible to know because of all the distortions if something actually happened. But I mean, you look at the data points, the pure data points. Okay, people murdered by their son. Middle of the 3:15 in the morning, and face down. Nobody struggled. Nobody ran. Nobody did anything. They just execution style murdered the whole family, and then said the devil made him do it. And he was on LSD and heroin, which is known to cause demonic possession and psychosis. Okay. Secondly, Mr. Lutz moves in 13 months later with his family, teenagers around one of them 13 years old. 13's a magic number when it comes to paranormal. They tend to stir things up because of the hormones and the stuff.
Puberty and all that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And Mr. Lutz has been confirmed had a obsession with the paranormal, had actually tones and stuff like that. It's been confirmed. Okay. I saw the interview with somebody who knew the family, a minister who knew the family. And he said that Mr. Lutz did indeed have an obsession with the paranormal. And the boys confirmed he had an obsession with the paranormal.
So
go ahead.
So I'm gonna ask this question then.
Okay.
Is it entirely possible, knowing that we know that he had an obsession with the occult and whatnot, that he knew about the house and that's why he wanted it?
That's entirely possible. That's entirely possible. He's never admitted to it.
Yeah,
but it's entirely.
It's not something you would have. You're not exactly going to admit to that, are you?
No.
It's like no.
Considering that the Lutzes did divorce, did divorce later, and the boys do not have warm and fuzzies about their stepdad. And so he was the kind of person that would have dragged that family into harm's way just to scratch an itch. So it's entirely possible. But after 28 days, so that's pure speculation. But after 28 days, they left in the middle of the night with the clothes on their back, did not go back to even get their stuff. They just auctioned it off and carried an $80,000 mortgage, which they couldn't afford to start with, while, living at her mother's house. Nobody's going to do that voluntarily.
Maybe Mr. Big Shot thought he could take it on and deal with it, and it whipped his ass. Who knows?
Yep, maybe. We do know that the priest changed his story 3 times, and wouldn't show himself on camera the last time, even though he gave his name, he wouldn't show up on camera. So he was scared of something. Okay. And the story that he changed from is that something slapped him and told him to get out. But then he says he never talked to them. But then the Lutz say that every time they try to talk to clergy, the phone fuzzed up. And so
here's the thing, though: if the priest went to the property, right, and even whether he went in or not, and now he's hiding himself. Is the demonic evil spirits not going to be thinking, "I know what you look like, son"?
I know exactly. It's like I don't know. That is true. But okay. So those are data points that are guaranteed. Also, the house has changed hands multiple times. The person, the biggest detractor of the story that everybody points to, was later outed as being when he detracted or said that everything was made up. He was currently suing the Lutz family.
Yeah.
And so he's a lawyer. He's a freaking blood-sucking lawyer. He was DeFeo's lawyer. Okay, he was Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s lawyer. And so line ball that would like try to get that, jackass off.
Maybe he's in cahoots with it. He's in cahoots with the spirit. That's what it was.
Well, he's a lawyer, so it's a good chance that he's in cahoots with Satan. But anyway, so that's the guy they all point to is like, well, see, he said it was that guy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna trust a lawyer who's suing the people that he's defaming. And so, and then then we have this piece of information that the house is keep trading hands, and every time it trades hands, the people who gave it up have stories, and yet they're like all they want to talk about is the Crow-Martys, which is the next family in, and so they didn't experience anything except that they sold the house like 2 to 4 years later. This prime piece of property that they probably got for dirt cheap because the DeFeos wanted out of it.
Yeah,
they sold it.
Yeah,
like. And we didn't experience anything, but there's nothing wrong with the house. Please buy it for this price here. Please buy it for this price.
Is there anyone in it now? Do we know?
Well, we do. I do know that the keyhole windows that was like the famous, thing that because it looked like eyes, on the house. They have been changed to like square hole windows.
Huh.
But by somebody that was trying to like rehab the house property, maybe to sell it. But I don't know. I don't know its current occupancy. I should have probably looked that up, but I don't know. But whoever it is, it probably won't stay in it long. I'm thinking. But okay, so here we come to the end of our journey here. Let me see if I have any votes. Anybody in the chat?
All right, not Brian.
Hasn't voted.
Not Brian, how you doing?
There's not Brian. Hey man, good to see you. Now Wookie doesn't have a poll in his chat because he's fiddly farting around eating something somewhere. Surprise. But so he didn't have a poll in his chat, but I have a poll in mine. So if you're in my chat, please vote now. I'm going to close the poll out. Okay, we do have some votes here in poll. There. Okay. Poll is ended. 6 votes in my poll.
Nice.
66% for debunked. 17% confirmed. And 17% in the middle. Okay. Heck, you started an hour early for me due to UK daylight savings time. Okay, I apologize.
I know, not Brian. That almost threw me off as well. I almost missed the show.
Okay, so out of 6 votes, 1 for confirmed, 1 for in the middle, and 4 for debunked. Okay. So we got 4 votes for debunked. Okay. So that's evidently we've got skeptics who don't think that it's real. Okay.
Time Prophet.
I think Time Prophet must have been there somewhere.
Yeah.
Usually. Because we know how he's going to vote. We know exactly how he's going to vote. Every time. Every single time. You have no imagination, my friend. Yep. Heck, you started an hour early for me due to UK savings time. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, times have gone back. Ours have gone back. It's just nobody can have the same time. It's just annoying.
Yeah. We need to get coordinated, don't we? Yeah. So okay, so that'll be 4 votes for debunked, 1 for confirmed, and 1 for in the middle. So all right. I don't know we don't have enough votes left to fix that, but we'll go ahead and give ours. I am going to say that I am confirmed. Something's going on there. Something significant. And I don't think that's disputable for me, looking at the data points. So what do you think, my friend?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. It seems pretty conclusive that something has happened.
Mhm.
Again, we spoke about it before that there's creative liberties taken when they adapt stories into works of fiction.
Yeah.
So obviously, I think that's probably the case. So yeah,
Right.
I'm confirmed. Something happened. Something definitely happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's something, and I think it's something ongoing. If
Probably,
I had
yeah.
the opportunity to own that property, I would not take it.
Yeah, I mean,
Anybody? Go ahead.
I think there is. I think there is probably such a thing as spiritual hotspots and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm certainly not one of these people that can sense these things. I know there are some people
Right.
that can, but I'm certainly not one of them. But
Yeah.
it could, when I was when you were talking about this stuff, I'm thinking, well, maybe the house itself is possessed, and then I went down the whole Ghostbusters route, and I'm thinking, well, maybe the building was designed to amplify spiritual turbulence.
Well, like the Spook Central in the first Ghostbusters, right? Like the selenium core and everything.
Yeah, who are you gonna call?
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, those keyhole windows were always creepy as shit, and it was definitely a one-off.
Well, there you go. That's maybe
architectural. It was definitely a one-off architectural element to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I don't think we have if anybody that hasn't voted yet, go ahead and put your vote in the chat. Maybe we can. Maybe we can overcome the debunked. But as it is, there's not enough votes. Yeah, as it is, we don't have enough. Result. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't look like anybody else has got a vote, so we're just gonna have to go with we just have to go with the majority. I think a lot of these people probably just showed up long enough to vote debunked and didn't stay for the show, because I think the proof that we given is pretty compelling to me. Except for Time Prophet. Time Prophet's never going to accept any proof of anything outside that, the physical realm. Ever. So, but anyway, I'm glad that my world's a lot brighter than that, but it is what it is. But thank you all for coming, and even at the evidently odd time that we're at. But for you that voted debunked, you win. So here you go.
Well, there you go.
That's one reason why we have it, to let the chat participate. And today they overrode us, evidently. So now, if we had our
congratulations on your congratulations on your vote, chat, and for being wrong.
For being totally wrong, yeah. But it's your priority. It's your prerogative. It's your prerogative.
Please come
now. We'll see if we had our two missing members, we could have overrode it because we would have enough votes. But
I know. Let's just blame them. Let's just blame them. Come on.
It's Wookie and Abby's fault. Okay, it's Wookie and Abby's fault. Totally completely. Because Ty does go to the panel. I have decreed it so. But unfortunately, this time we didn't have enough votes to overrule. So anyway, but it is what it is. I've enjoyed tonight. I've learned some things during the investigation, and even more. I thought I do think significantly this is probably the most compelling argument for demonic possession of a house or a building or something like that.
I was just thinking that. Yeah. There's a movie. I mean, there's like the movie Night of the Demons. I don't know if you've seen that, but
no, I haven't.
It's like the house itself is kind of like possessed by a spirit, which is kind of cool. I've got
Yeah.
them all, but hey ho. And it can possess people as well. Of course it can.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it can. But anyway, so here we are. Thank you for coming, everybody. Sorry the time was earlier than you expected. Hopefully, everybody be acclimated next week to the new time, and maybe we'll have a better turnout next week. But we did 24 eyes. We had 24 eyes, so
nice.
thankful for that.
Thanks for coming, Pete's.
We will see you next time. Do you have any ideas for next week? Possible topic?
Well, we did the Bermuda Triangle. We've done Atlantis. We did vampires. I did those. I suggested those. My goodness.
No?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Oh, yes.
What?
This is a whopper. This was something my pal suggested, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Just to throw this out there. The prophecies of Nostradamus.
That's actually a good one. Hey, next week.
That was my pal. He suggested to me to suggest to everybody that we maybe go for that. The prophecies of Nostradamus.
Well, your pal is a brilliant guy. Thank him for me. But next week maybe we'll have Goofus and Doofus back. I don't know. But whoever shows up next week, it'll be me and Cruel if nobody else. Which is why you all come anyway, for us. But that's my theory. So because if it's not Scottish, it's crap. Okay. Anyway.
Bingo.
Might as well play it, right?
If it's no Scottish, it's crap.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you.
And
yes, thank you.
And if Abby,
you've got me, the Scotsman here, on screen right now, and you've got Not Brian in the chat representing Scotland in the chat, so it's great.
There you go.
Thank
and
you for coming,
if Wookie or Abby want to complain about the way we've defamed them tonight,
who gives a shit?
I love it.
Never gets old. All right.
No.
So thank y'all. You have a good week. We will see you next Saturday night with the prophecies of Nostradamus. Was he right? But how many are down? There we go. We'll do that next week. So I'll have a very good night. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.